They say you never know what someone is going through until a small act of kindness reminds them that the world still has light. This is the story of a stranger, a park bench, and how one simple gesture changed two lives forever. It was a cold, grey morning in the city. The kind of morning that made people walk faster, talk less, and look down. In the middle of that rush sat an old man named Arthur on his usual park bench near the fountain. His coat was worn, his hands rough, his eyes tired. He wasn't homeless, but he was alone, retired, widowed, and forgotten by a world that had moved on too fast. Every day he came to that same bench with a small brown paper bag, fed the pigeons, and watched people pass. It was his only routine, his only company. Across the park, a young woman named Maya walked by the same route every day on her way to work. She was 27, ambitious, but exhausted, living in a city that celebrated success but never rest. She barely noticed Arthur, and he never expected her to. Until one morning, it was raining hard, and the park was empty except for him. Arthur sat under his umbrella feeding the pigeons as usual when he noticed a small notebook lying on the wet bench beside him. He picked it up. The first page read, "Dreams, Fears, Someday." Inside were sketches, short poems, and pages of thoughts. Beautiful, messy, real. It belonged to Maya. She must have dropped it on her way to work that morning. Arthur smiled softly. The handwriting reminded him of his late wife, who had been a writer. He carefully wrapped the notebook in a plastic bag and waited. The rain poured harder, but he didn't leave. Hours passed. When Maya finally came rushing back into the park, drenched and anxious, she froze when she saw the old man still sitting there, notebook in hand. "I think this is yours," he said gently. Maya's eyes widened. "You waited here? All this time?" Arthur nodded. "Dreams are precious. You shouldn't lose them." She smiled, the kind of smile you give when you didn't expect anyone to care. "Thank you," she whispered. He simply nodded and said, "No need to thank me. Just promise me one thing. Keep writing." That small moment, brief, almost ordinary, stayed with her. Over the next few weeks, Maya found herself stopping by the bench each morning with a cup of coffee for him. They talked about books, about love, about how fast the world was spinning. Arthur shared stories of his wife, of painting sunsets, of learning to be content with little things. It became their quiet ritual. Two strangers, two generations, one bench. Then one morning, Maya arrived to find the bench empty. Arthur wasn't there. Days passed, weeks, still nothing. Until one morning she found a small envelope taped to the bench. Her name was written in shaky handwriting. Inside was a short letter and a small, worn-out fountain pen. It read, "Dear Maya, if you're reading this, I've gone home. Not to my house, but to where my heart has been waiting. You reminded me that kindness still exists. You gave this old man something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose. I used to write once too, long ago, until life got quiet. This pen was the last gift my wife gave me. I think it's time it found a new storyteller. Keep writing, keep feeling. The world needs more hearts like yours. Arthur." Maya sat on the bench, tears mixing with her smile. She looked at the pen, old and scratched, yet heavy with meaning. That night, she opened her notebook and wrote her first story in months, about a rainy day, an old man, and a park bench. She titled it, "The Man Who Waited." It was short, simple, and pure, but it was the story that started everything. Years later, Maya became a well-known writer. Her first book was dedicated to him, and in every interview she mentioned that all of it began with an act of kindness from a stranger on a rainy morning. And if you ever walk through that same park, you'll find a small plaque on the wooden bench by the fountain. It reads, "Kindness doesn't have to change the world. Just one heart at a time is enough." So if you think your small act doesn't matter, if you believe your kindness goes unseen, remember Arthur and the notebook he waited in the rain to return. Because you never know, your one small gesture might be the reason someone doesn't give up today. And that is how kindness changes the world quietly.